To order at 6:30. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call.
Matt Doublestein. Andrew McGee.
Here.
Lauren Foley.
Here.
Steve Milstead.
Here.
Danny Powers.
Here.
Philip Snowberger.
Here.
Dave Taylor.
Here. Okay, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. There's one request. There's one request, I understand.
Yes, we have one continuance request of the primary plat PC 22-035-PP. That is just an continuance that does not need to be voted on. And then there's also a request for PC 22-032-ZA, zone amendment for Ellis Acres, to request that one will need to be voted on to approve or disapprove because it is their second continuance.
Last month, and they're seeking a second, so that requires a motion and a vote by the board.
Okay. Does the petitioner have anything to say regarding the request?
Yes, sir. Good evening. For the record, my name is Jim Schinover. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Nelson and Frankenberger. Here tonight with Dave Compton on behalf of Pulte Homes. We're representing Platinum Properties in Pulte. This is for Ellis Acres, which is on your agenda. We had emailed staff this afternoon, and I believe they may have forwarded it to the Plan Commission members. We are requesting a second continuance. Platinum continues to look at the site plan and evaluate the townhome unit count they're requesting, and they are at a point where they're going to make some modifications / reductions, but they want to look at that to see how it affects, how it kind of ripples through the site plan. So that decision was not able to be made for tonight's hearing and reflected in the plans. Secondly, we've had two neighborhood meetings in April and May with surrounding residents, and during those meetings, some questions were asked about if townhome units could be rented and by whom. And so we also submitted to staff, and they may have sent it to you as well, some draft commitments that address that rental issue. But Pulte also needs some additional time because they want to revisit those in the event potentially additional modifications may need to make to those as well. And so we're asking this continuance in good faith. We'd ask to be on the July Plan Commission agenda. And with that said, we'll remain available to answer any questions that you may have of us. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to continue PC 22-032-ZA zone amendment Ellis Acres until the July meeting.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
We do appreciate your consideration. We'll submit revised Plan Commission brochures with all the updated information to staff by the deadlines. But we do appreciate, and we're going to keep working hard on this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we will not be hearing PC 22-032-ZA zone amendment Ellis Acres. That will be for July now. Any other changes to the agenda?
I will make a motion to combine docket PC 22036-PP primary plat Indianapolis Logistic Park Northwest and PC 22037 CP concept plan Indianapolis Logistics Park into one presentation but still require 2 votes. And combine E and F, which is PC 22-038-CP concept plan, Iowa Whitestown Site 1, and PC 22-039 DP development plan, Iowa Site 1.
Okay. Motion.
I'll motion to second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
And then one other item, for item C and D, just for the record, I am going to recuse myself from those two agenda items because the company I work for has an interest in that project.
Okay. All right. So we have our agenda now, I believe. So next item, meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look over the, we missed the April 11th meeting minutes at our last meeting. So we have April 11th and we have May 9th.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda or the meeting minutes from April 11th and May 9th.
A second.
So motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there, next item is public request to speak on topics not on the agenda. Is there anybody that's requested to speak on anything not on the agenda? Okay. Seeing none online as well. And seeing no presentations or unfinished business, we will move on to item 6B, 6C and D. There one presentation, but will be two motions. PC 22-036 PP, primary plat, Indianapolis Logistics Park Northwest, and PC 22-037 CP, concept plan, Indianapolis Logistics Park Northwest. Petitioner. Is petitioner ready?
Yes.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, hold on 1 minute.
And just for the record, Mr. Schnellberger stepping out as he indicated he's recusing himself. So for the record.
All right. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Liam Sawyer from Kimway Horn and Associates at 250 East 96th Street, Suite 580, Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm here representing my client, Ambrose. Greg is here with me. If any questions should be asked of him. And we are presenting on Indianapolis Logistics Park Northwest for PC 22-036-PP and PC 22-037-CP. You could go to the next slide, please. So just running through a few project information, kind of a high-level overview. As I said, this is for the primary plat and then the concept plan. The portion of the project that we consider Indianapolis Logistics Park Northwest is the 88 acres on the northern portion of the site that was rezoned to I-1 back in April. To the south of that, and we'll see in a couple slides, there's a common area A that includes plus or minus 22 acres that remained in the Anson PUD. And we just want to be clear that this is intended to be sold and developed by others in the future. So with that, the concept plan that we submitted included 4 speculative warehouses on the I-1 portion of the site, so that's the 88 acres. And then the primary plat includes 4 lots for those 4 separate warehouses, and then the aforementioned common area A. As I said, common area A is to be developed by others. And then kind of overall drainage utilities, internal infrastructure improvements will be master planned for all future developments. Just everything internal to that common area will be by others. And then, as I stated, the rezone was approved at the April 2022 Plan Commission meeting. Go to the next slide, please. So here's just a project aerial to give you a sense of where this project is located. So this is to the northeast of I-65 and to the northeast of Perryworth Road, kind of off the new interchange, the south of East 500 South. it's kind of directly to the south of what is 65 Commerce Park, and then to the west of 65 Commerce Park, buildings 6 and 7. And as you can see here, graphically representing that northern part is what we consider the Indianapolis Logistics Park Northwest, the 88 acres, and then to the south is the kind of remaining common area A that remains in the Anson PUD. Go next slide, please. This is just a high-level overview of the primary plat. To the north, we're splitting it into 4 distinct lots with internal access easements for all the internal drives and showing a whole bunch of drainage easements, and then to the south is that 22 acres that's remaining to be developed by others. Next slide, please. And then this is a concept plan. As I said, for now it is for speculative warehouse buildings. There is a larger cross dock to the east, and then in the center we have 2 rear loads that are facing each other with a pond in between, and then finally on the far west side we have a rear load building with the office facing the highway, and then to the south we have common area A, and then there's kind of a master drainage pond that's splitting both areas. And then finally, if we go to the last slide, I just wanted to highlight some staff recommendations from the staff report. They are providing positive recommendations for both. One note we want to make in the staff recommendation for the primary plat says 100.2 acres. It should be, just to clarify, the entire parcel is 110.2 acres, including the common area, and then what we consider our portion to the north. So that's all we have for our presentation, but we're happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you. Staff, staff report.
The applicant is proposing to subdivide approximately 110 acres into 4 parcels and 1 common area. The northern portion of the site was recently rezoned to the I-1 zoning district. The northern portion of the site is going through the concept plan process to develop 4 light industrial buildings with associated vehicle and trailer parking on approximately 88 acres. Staff is providing a favorable recommendation for dockets PC 22-036-PP and PC 22-037-CP. Staff finds the proposed primary plat and concept plan are in conformance with the UDO.
Thank you. Is there any public request to speak on this item? Okay. Seeing none in the room and none online, we'll close the hearing, the public hearing. Any questions, comments on the board? Okay. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion on these 2 items.
I'll make a motion to approve PC 22-036 PP primary plat and PC 22-037 CP concept plan for Indiana Logistics Park Northwest.
We just need one motion for each. So the first one would be on, we'll take your motion to be approval of PP
For the
036-PP.
Okay.
Just need a second on that one.
I'll second the motion for the approval of the primary plat.
Okay, there's a motion and a second for the primary plat. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Sorry, Danny. Now you can make your motion on the concept plan.
Now I'd like to make a motion for the concept plan on PC 22-037 concept plan Indianapolis Logistics Park Northwest
Just for clarification, to approve, correct?
for approval.
Second.
So motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Okay, moving on to PC 22-038-CP concept plan and PC 22-039-DP development plan for IWIS Whitestown Site 1.
Good evening. Name is Brian Sheward. I'm with
Oh.
Kinley.
Stop for one moment. Somebody go grab Philip.
He's back.
Oh, he's back. He's back. He look up.
Snuck in.
Sorry, I was reading. I was looking down.
He's like a shadow.
You snuck in here so quietly. Sorry.
Well, for formalities, Brian Sheward, Kinley Horn and Associates, office at 250 East 96th Street, Suite 580, Indianapolis, Indiana. Here tonight, representing my client, actually Compass Construction, but it's for EWIS Drive Systems LLC. I've got representatives tonight sitting over here. Dan Eganoff from EWIS, if you have any questions about their company and what this is. Rich Prestholt from Compass Commercial Construction Group, and Bob Duggar from Cushman & Wakefield. Next slide. So this project is up at the kind of northwest side of Whitestown. If you recall, it came through for rezone and annexation here in the last few months. This is a build-to-suit project, so different than the last, which is speculative. This is a build-to-suit for EWIS, which currently resides down in Park 100, so they're excited to come up to Whitestown. The project site area is about 11.3 acres. Current zoning of the property is I-1. The building itself is a single-load building you'll see on the site plan of about 95,000 square feet, with a future addition of approximately another 50,000 square feet that we show an outline of on the north side of the building. We'd have to come back for development plan approval if that expansion were to ever happen, I believe. Building height's approximately 40 feet, and 100 off-street parking spaces. We're abiding by the bicycle parking space requirement. And this site partially sits within the floodplain, which requires compensatory storage for any fill within the floodplain. So we've been working with the county surveyor on that. And this will, in some ways, ride the coattails of the patch project, if you recall, on the west side of 450. That's going to be improving County Road 450 from Albert White all the way up to where the borrow pit is for Fox contractors. And you'll see that in the aerial. So if you go to the next slide. The site here just sits north of Fishback Creek, just south of the borrow pit that you can see there, and on the east side of 450 to get your bearings. Next slide. This is the site plan. The site's a bit of a triangle. The office corner is going to be on the southwest corner of the building. So as you're driving up 450, the first corner you'll see will be the corner where the office will be. Docks, not very many, are on the east side of the building, and parking is on the south and the west. 2 curb cuts are planned onto 450 on the west side of the building, and then the eastern half is the detention pond and the compensatory storage pond to serve the site. Next slide. This is just a zoom in. It probably doesn't show up too much more, but just showing where the parking, the building, and the dashed portion on the north is where the future building addition could be, should they ever decide to do that. Next slide. Landscape plan, we do have single-family residential use to the north and the south, which you'll notice on the north side, we have landscaping. Those are Norway spruce and white pine trees, so evergreen on the north. And then on the south side, since we do have south-facing auto parks, we have both landscaping and we have a proposed fence along that edge to help with any headlights that may shine to the south. Next slide. Architectural elevations, you can see it's kind of a gray, white, red palette. What you see on the top is the west elevation, so what you would see from County Road 450. You can see on this kind of east, far right side, that's the south west corner. So that you can see there's a elevation feature, architectural feature to kind of denote the office corner. And then the southern elevation is the south elevation of the building. So on the left side, you can see that's where the front door will be on the southwest corner of the building. Next slide. Took snips out of the staff reports. Staff is recommending approval of both the concept plan and development plan. Next slide. And either myself or representatives be happy to answer any questions that you have. So thank you.
Thank you. Staff report.
The applicant is proposing to develop an approximate 95,000 square foot building for light industrial manufacturing use and associated parking on approximately 11 acres. The site was recently rezoned to I-1 light industrial zone and is completing the process of being annexed into the town of Whitestown. Staff is providing a favorable recommendation for dockets PC 22-038-CP and PC 22-039-DP. Staff finds the proposed development is in compliance with applicable standards of the UDO. The development manages traffic and the utilities have enough capacity.
The public hearing portion, I do have one request to speak on this item. Kyle O'Boyle. You can go ahead and approach the podium and state your name and your address.
Hey everybody, I am Kyle O'Boyle. I actually, if you actually can go back to that site aerial, we can see my house up there if that's possible. So my address is 3473 450E. You can see I'm right on that house that's just to the north of the red property line there. That's we have the Fox Contractors property project right behind us. And I'm sure you guys know we are seeing that large project kitty corner, and then there's a proposed one that we just received in the mail for directly across the street as well. We moved here 2 years ago to just a gravel road with cornfields. I'm sure you guys know just from looking at the map now, we're actually going to be living pretty much directly in the middle of an industrial park, kind of unwillingly a little bit. And I used to work in commercial real estate for Cushman & Wakefield in Milwaukee. We did tons of industrial developments. I never saw or had any towns that we dealt with, and massive amounts of developments we did up and down I-94 that would just leave residential properties kind of inside of an industrial park. One of the things, because I know that the project's already been pretty much approved, the zoning's approved. I think the big thing for us on this current project that we're talking about today is just having some type of privacy berm as well directly to our south there. We do have a thin tree line. I did see they do have some trees that they're talking about putting there as well. Our concern or worry is that in the fall and winter, that the trucks, the sound pollution that we'll be getting directly to the north of that project is going to be pretty loud. We currently do hear the Coca-Cola plant, which is quite a bit of ways from us. We can hear that one going throughout the night 24/7. So just that's a concern for us there. I know the other projects across the street aren't on the docket tonight. I would just say one of the concerns for us is just, what is Whitestown going to do with our property? Is it just going to currently just kind of stay inside of an industrial park? We're fine with being sent out of here whatever way is possible. It's just kind of weird that we moved here and now we're living inside of an industrial park. It just seems a little weird to us. I think too, Fox Contractors has been great, by the way. They're very communicative. I can text Peter. He's the site manager there. He responds to us. He's responded to us at midnight before. I think we're just looking for a similar type of response of just kind of having good neighbor relations for us. I did reach out to Brian. He did respond, thankfully. I just know that overall it's just kind of tough that we're kind of stuck here. And now if we're not hearing back from anybody, it seems makes it a little tougher for us to deal with. We do have 5 kids there, so I think just with safety, I don't know how well the trees are going to do. We are going to tell them, obviously, don't cross through the tree line, but I feel like some type of privacy berm would definitely help us out. And then future considerations for us, we did try to list our home as a residential sale in February. We listed it $65,000 to $85,000 below what it would have been worth if we weren't inside of an industrial park. We had 33 showings in 3 days, 0 offers. Everyone that came through said they love the house, love the property. They just didn't want to live inside of an industrial park. And some of them even said, even if the road's paved and once things are settling down, they just wouldn't want to live inside of an industrial park. So my other question would be, is there any way that we could possibly go to Boone County or the assessors and help us out if we are still going to be living inside of an industrial park to try and help us get our property taxes at least down, since our primary investment is potentially decimated. So that's all I have for you guys, unless you have any questions or anything else.
Okay.
Oh, and I will say, I am willing, you guys can come out and hang out there if you want. I know Dave, you reached out, you can come out there. And we're willing to have conversations. We're not, disgruntled or anything. So we're definitely, if you guys want to reach out to us, you know where to find us. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional requests to speak on this agenda item? The public? Any online? Okay. Petitioner would like to address some of those items.
Mr. O'Boyle, he did reach out to me this past week, and we exchanged emails back and forth. I was just speaking with my client. That's kind of how this forum goes. We'd be happy to work with you on a fence along that stretch. So we had on the north, the reason we hadn't shown a fence in the, proposal at this point is we don't have any headlights facing north. And so we had just shown the white pines and the spruce along that edge. But in talking to Dan, he wants to be a good neighbor. So we're happy to work with him on if that's a fence along the property line, there kind of where the trees are shown, or if it's, some substitution of trees for a fence, or if we can fit both. I'd say that we're happy to work, even though the plan as presented is code compliant in our understanding. We'd be happy to, I've been given the authority to say that we can add a fence if that would help the board out and our neighbor to the north.
Okay. So you're willing to make that commitment of a fence?
Yeah.
In addition to the landscape?
To the landscaping, sure. And there is the tree line along the edge, and I told Mr. O'Boyle that in my assessment of the aerial overlaid with the property line, I think the majority of those trees land on the north side of the property line. But usually in these cases, the contractor's happy to make sure when the silt fence is laid and you go tree by tree, you make sure that it's understood where that tree lands on what side of the property line. Because the northern drive is a little bit depressed in grade as compared to the property line. So it's a downslope from the property down to the drive. So if there are trees on our property south of the property line, they will likely have to be removed because of the grade. But that's why we're replacing back with evergreen trees. And again, we'd be happy to try to put a fence in along that property line as an added barrier for visual and sound potentially.
Okay. You have one. You have another comment. Come on.
I'm sure we can talk to you guys afterwards too. My wife and I we're just a little concerned that maybe the fence and the trees might not be enough. With the driveway being right over there, we are a little bit worried about some light and sound pollution, and the fence and the trees might potentially not be enough. Just like I said earlier, we can hear the Coke plant. It's pretty far away. Trucks beep up sounds and all that stuff. And I mean, I know we're kind of SOL here because we just happen to be completely stuck inside of an industrial park and the zoning's already changed. But I don't know. I feel like if we could even have just a thin berm of some kind, at least help a little instead of a fence, that would be a little more helpful.
I would be happy to put in a berm if I could. Because our drive is lower in grade than the property line and we're between 10 and 20 feet away, you wouldn't be able to physically make a 3-to-1 up and 3-to-1 down berm, which is the maximum slope you could put on berms. So we don't have the space, which usually in cases like that, the concession is either more landscaping or a fence or landscaping and a fence, but we don't have the ability to have a berm through there with the way the site grades with all the other constraints that exist. So hopefully a fence working back and forth would be above and beyond what the code requires, and we'd be happy to concede to that.
All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Apologize, I didn't say that before. Is there any other questions, comments from the board regarding what you've heard?
On the part about the property taxes, I will say I've gone through that fight before, and it's not an easy fight, but it's a winnable fight. It's something I would just recommend reaching out to the assessor's office and set up an appointment to go up there and meet with them and hope that you can come to terms on what's agreeable for both of you.
Okay.
Do we have to, is this one item or is this two separate items that we require a motion?
This is one motion.
One motion captures all of them. Okay. I will make a motion to approve docket PC 22-038-CP concept plan and PC 22-039-DP development plan for Ewis Whitestown Site 1 with the condition that the developer is willing to install a fence as well as trees along the north side of the property to help protect that adjacent property owner. Where the property lines adjoin. That seemed.
I'll second.
It's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. We'll move on to, I do see there are some announcements tonight.
Two minor announcements. Just before tonight's meeting, I emailed the draft comprehensive plan to plan commissioners to begin reviewing and getting familiar with the content. We will also be distributing this draft to the steering committee and residents of the town later this week. So we ask that you please take a look and send back any comments to us. The sooner the better, so we can revise as needed. This is an update to the current comprehensive plan. It's not a full rewrite, so keep that in mind as you go through things. The comp plan is a testament to the town's vision, and we feel that the public input we have received to this point is strongly reflected in this update. Looking at the timeline, if all goes well, we'd like to bring this comp plan to you guys next month for an official recommendation and consideration to town council, but I'll keep you in the loop as things change. Our second announcement is that the town has hired a new planning administrator. Does start with the town this week. He has previous experience in Avon planning side of things, so he'll be doing plan commission review, board of zoning appeals. You'll see him more frequently.
Welcome.
Okay. Well, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
All right. Any other announcements?
No.
Okay. The motion to adjourn by anybody?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I heard a second. So. All's in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Have a good evening.